1. What's up, viewers? Welcome to episode 26 of Downtime Encounters, where half of us love lore and the other half of us have no idea what's going on. We're excited to have you join us today, whether you're a new viewer or a veteran viewer. Feel free to share your opinions with us in the chat as we make poor decisions. And without further ado, I'll hand things off to our lovely DM, Nathaniel, who's turning his friends into enemies with each episode.
All right, so we'll see who is going to be recapping for today. And it looks like it's going to be Madison.
Oh, wow. I don't know if it's literally ever landed on me before. And it's funny you say that because as you said that, I was like, I need to pull up my notes from last section.
Might be helpful.
I was here for last session, right? Yes. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God, what did we do? Hold on. This is the
No,
one
I don't think you were. Were you?
Oh, I can do it.
No.
Oh, maybe she wasn't, yeah.
Where I was,
Because you watched it afterwards.
That's right.
There's no way we haven't played in almost a month.
No, it hasn't been a month, but we did have we had like almost a 2-week break there.
Did she not participate in the fight with?
No, I did. I was in the fight because
In the fight, but afterwards. Well, maybe.
It was just the fight. That was pretty much our last session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay, then you were present then.
Because I remember I came crawling out of the bag of holding and was like, "You guys did this again?"
Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna give you my notes, but they're not helpful.
No, I also took notes over the previous episode I did miss. We're good. To recap, though, we're fighting Sates after he came to assassinate a guy that we were, like, BFFs with. And the fight pretty much took the whole time. He did the same, like, bubble thing that Foley did. And then spent the whole fight, like, turning invisible and using too many sneak attacks because he can do that. Not mad about it that he's a better rogue than I am.
He's only probably level 15.
We lost hard. Like, impressively hard. Well, yeah, no, impressively hard. And then Lionrith, like, came up to the edge of the bubble and was like, no, super dramatically, and, like, rewound time? And with, like, 10 minutes left in our 2-hour block of where we play, we, like, zoomed back to the start of the session. It was like nothing had happened. And it was wild. And then we were like, okay, we can't beat you, so we're just gonna let you go. And he, like, shrunk the Dimitri statue down into a tiny little minifig, picked it up, and left. And then we were left to kill time until the summit started. And, you know, deal with all of that. So I think there was Ku stole some shit. Whoops. Sylvia deciphered another letter correspondence, but it mostly had stuff we already knew in it. And yeah. Recap.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll just kind of pick up from there. I think I put a pin in something that Taylor wanted to do at the top here. So it has not started yet. Even though I did tease it a little bit about it at the beginning of the last session. So, what would you like to do?
So are we still in the room? Have we told? I forget if we've told any church officials yet.
No, I did.
No, this was after.
I thought I flagged somebody down and said.
Yeah, they're aware of everything. This was I think a day or two kind of after. In the free time section that you had, I basically put a pin in a thing you wanted to do, whatever that was. And because we were just short on time, so.
I would like to talk to Satya a little bit before the summit.
Okay. Yeah, that isn't difficult to do. You'll be able to find her at that grove of hers.
We've talked about this outside of game, but I would like to go ahead and either work with her to create a focus that's 1000 GP, or see if she has one that I can buy that's a little more druidic than just like a crystal ball or something like that.
Yeah. What were the items that they specifically were in it?
For scrying, I believe it's a crystal ball or a mirror is what the spell calls for. But I think
Okay.
it's anything that is 1,000 GP or more.
Okay. Yeah. So as per before, you head over to the entrance, and they at this point still kind of bar you from entering, but they get Sadia, and Sadia doesn't make you wait too long, and says, "Welcome back. I have heard word that you did help the druids up north."
We did. We were going to head south to that other circle, but we ran into the Deceiver, and so we dispatched him, and hopefully he won't be any trouble anymore. We decided to take a more merciful route with him, but we think he's going to be honest to his word.
Who?
Uh, Foley, he's the Deceiver. He's one of Valdara's servants who can take on the visage of just about anybody he comes into contact with.
Interesting. I had not heard of this person. Uh, I'll let the other council members know about this.
I doubt you'll ever see him in his true form, but if you do, he is a kind of a light gray Kenku. Um, Very rare from what I understand of their people.
Interesting. That is a interesting revelation. Okay. Well, I'm glad that all of you are just fine.
His goal was to get Lionrith away from us, and we would assume, or I would assume, that being that close to the edge of the forest, probably to take him out. And so I don't know if the druids would be willing to help guard Lionrith a little bit more, but I would have my guard up during this summit that Valdara would not try something again like that.
We will keep an eye on things, certainly.
Um, as I've adventured and grown, Gaia has blessed me with some new abilities, and I was wondering if you could maybe help me with one of them.
Of course.
Um, my cohort Sylvia used to be a diviner, and she still kind of dabbles in a lot of divining magic, and I was able to kind of learn to scry from her, but unfortunately I don't have the same resources that she does, and so I'm needing some help in unlocking some kind of focus that I can use to peer across the continent at those that I need to survey.
Ah, yes. You need some sort of surface to be able to look into. I don't have anything directly on hand. I can get something kind of put together for you, but I'll have to deliver it to you at the summit, because I assume you'll be there, right?
Of course, we wouldn't miss that.
Okay. Then I will prepare my initial feeling would be to do something that's more like a frozen mirror in a way. Something that is using ice that doesn't melt, and to use the reflection within it. Uh, I think that would be the best thing I have on hand. I could do, if you wanted, a crystal ball of sorts. Could go that route.
I think the mirror is probably more appropriate to our travels and moving around, something a little bit more sturdy. Do you need any gold for material components to craft this item?
I will. I'll need the 1,000 gold amount.
All right, remove from my inventory, boss.
She accepts your item payment, and it will be delivered in 1 to 2 business days. So,
um, Sadia, were you able to look through the tome while we were away?
yes, I have, and I'm still looking. It certainly is providing a lot of interesting revelations that can be helpful with rejuvenating Gaia's magic.
That's good to hear. I have to say, throughout my travels, it's been disappointing, to say the least, to see how weak our people have become and how weak Gaia's influence has been in this age.
We've had a lot of adversaries, and I don't think that we have been as diligent in protecting everything as we could be. We have reached this problem as a result.
I wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit now that I'm back in the Glade's good graces. Do you know what any of the larger, stronger groups are going to suggest from the summit? We talked to Dimitri, and Dimitri, before he passed, said that they would likely suggest he be sent with a scion or some kind of powerful being to train him, possibly.
Yes, I don't know the specific points that will be asked. I would likely guess from at least the whispers and talks that they will ask who his caretakers should be. And I believe that would put you on the receiving end of whatever happens as a result of that. Some of the other groups might have specific questions. I know the Elven Council has one specifically they're going to ask. They've kept under wraps. The church has a stance as well, and then the one I just mentioned to you. So it will be interesting to see how what goes on.
Not to be presumptuous here, but has the High Druid Council considered throwing their own hat into the ring to be Lionrith's trainers? He's quite limited with our magic, and frankly, he doesn't like his father or his mother.
I have talked with them a bit. I am on the council after all, so I will be representing the council in this, and it is a possibility. I think there are a few options that they are discussing and thinking of.
All right. Thank you for, setting the focus up. Thank you for sending me on this mission. I'm glad and happy to be able to prove myself to the council. I look forward to more missions and more chances to prove my devotion to Gaia.
I'm glad to see someone as devoted as you, and I will meet you again during the summit.
Thank you.
And she departs. I assume there's nothing else anyone else would like to do prior to the summit.
I want to
Oh, come on! I want the Magic Summit transition.
I want to throw a party for Lionrith because he's so depressed right now. I want to throw him a little, like a dinner the night before the summit or something like that, like a little surprise party.
That's adorable. We should.
I can fly away with him for a while you guys set up.
Maybe to keep things within our short, brief time frame, maybe we'll do something a little bit in-game smaller, but I think you can still perform.
We can just say
this.
we do it.
Okay.
Make him happy.
Well, I still think it might be a good opportunity for you guys to talk one last time prior to the summit, and then we can go into it. But for this, we're gonna have to do some rolls here, of course. So for whatever party preparations that you would like to do for this, name the specific task your character wants to do, and then we'll roll to see how well it's done.
Somebody do food. Let's not allowed to do food.
I'm gonna procure food because I don't trust anyone else to procure food.
Let him decorate.
I'm going on a long fight with Lionrith, just quietly, not necessarily us talking, just enjoying the weather together.
So you got to distract him then. Okay, I get that. Yeah. So what is Ku and Let going to do for party preparations?
That's
Decorate.
Good... Oh, we can decorate.
Andy.
Oh no.
Okay. We'll start with Sylvia here. This will be a wisdom check for cooking. But you will not have any other additional bonuses as you're not proficient with cooking tools. Unless you secretly are and you haven't told me, but I don't think so.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Hi, I would like to use a lucky point since this is a because it's the night
course.
before, right?
The cooking, yes. Yeah, the night before, yeah.
We're gonna get a long rest. Okay, then
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
definitely gonna use one.
Otherwise, it's stick soup part 2.
More like a burnt
Okay,
cake.
that's
That's what I'm thinking.
thank
There we
you.
go.
All right, good. We'll then turn to our wonderful druid to do a persuasion check.
Oh no, not survival to just see how good I fly.
You're good at. I'm confident you guys can fly, but you have to convince him to be awake for so long.
Ooh, I got a 20.
It did not go through, but I will check the. I'll check the
No!
need on here.
I forgot to tell you, Nathaniel, I can't open Foundry because it crashed my computer last time.
Okay, so let's see here. Let me pull up the campaign game log. Oh, yeah, that's a 20. Okay, cool. All right, you're golden, and now it's down to the decoration duo. So
Committee.
yeah, the fry pan committee. With the two of you, you can either do 2 separate rolls for each individual person, or you can have one person roll with advantage, whoever you designate.
Alright.
What are we rolling?
I'm gonna use this as a performance.
I got a +1.
Same.
Should we both roll?
Yeah.
It's the same as rolling with advantage.
18. All right.
I almost had a critical. Oh, but it didn't go through. Why not? I know I connected them.
I was having
Please
horrible
hold.
flash forwards to "It is your birthday" decorations.
It is your birthday, yes. That's what I was thinking of too.
I mean, if it's
Dang it,
true,
my first one was a 15.
Yeah, I'll still take it. It's not that big a deal. I can see it. As
Okay.
long as I get to see it, it's fine.
Okay.
So with that, you kind of average it out. Honestly, pretty successful. I think it does help that you have someone who can probably supply random assortment of maybe fabrics or decorations in that way.
the collection is just getting hung, and it's probably up to Let to actually make it look good.
But also,
and
if Let has written anything on the banner, it's unintelligible, but man, is it encouraging.
I just pictured Let drawing like images on the fabric.
It's unintelligible, but it's encouraging.
Oh, I love the Mr. Beeps comment. Don't forget the Alabella pinata.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Oh man, that's so good.
I'm dead. Oh,
so
Incredible.
we'll turn to our
this is
our wonderful cook here. He did a pretty good job after having to alter fate. But what did you make?
It's useful to practice magic in these situations. I don't know. Do we know what Lynrith likes?
Andy.
Aside from candy.
We've been traveling with him for months. Surely
Sure.
we
So I
figured that out.
probably mostly made things. Well, what did dragons even eat?
So I would say up to this point, it's been a little like odd for you because he doesn't like eat in the traditional fashion. Basically, if you provide him something, he will eat it, but he doesn't seem to like get hungry or anything. It's a detail that you just
Oh my God.
you haven't specifically looked at, so I haven't talked about it. I think this is kind of the first moment of that kind of type of discussion. So I think just like any almost any child in a way, anything sweet. Dragons do prefer they're carnivores, so they like eating meat. So that's not a you didn't turn away from that either.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make some nice venison for us meat eaters, but also some form of salad, I guess, for the vegetarians, and some sort of like pie for dessert, probably.
2 pies.
Okay,
for
yeah, you're
Lynrith,
right.
one for the
Probably
rest
2
of us.
pies. Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. And then, of course, we have Gorfrak, who brilliantly distracted him up to this point with the 20 questions of why are we leaving everyone behind, blah, 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 blah. And like, Kai dodged those really quickly and be like, oh look, that's a shiny thing over there.
I think I'm more turned into we're racing, and I think he probably beats me handedly. And I always keep just saying, oh no, I meant that tree. Oh no, I meant that tree. Oh no, I meant that tree.
Calvin Ball.
Oh yeah, and I think there's even a few times where like maybe you'll do really well, but then suddenly you just don't, and you're not really sure why. You just don't.
Lyra is using his magic
I forget that this is a child.
He's freezing you.
Yeah,
Gorfrak takes 50 points of cold damage from the breath.
Like, I mean, honestly, there is times where you just have the worst luck possible, and again, you just don't know why.
He's just a baby.
You're able to come together, and you do have a pretty well put together party. At least from my perspective, I thought the group could have produced. So
that worked out really well for us.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
I hope we didn't need those rolls for something else.
Also, there is perfectly paired wine that pairs with the venison, the fruit, and the salad.
Oh
Not for
my
Lyra,
God.
but for the rest of us.
Oh, Koo doesn't eat either. This is amazing.
I don't even know what lettuce is supposed to eat here either.
I said there's
Salad.
salad for the vegetarians.
Oh, salad. Okay, yeah.
And there's
Gonna build
pie.
strong muscles.
And there's pie, yeah. What more could that want?
Oh
I'm
boy.
cracking up that you were like, we need paired wine. Because of course you would do that. I don't know why I'm surprised, Piper.
Sylvia is a noble after all.
Yeah.
No, Sylvia is Piper. That's Piper.
And
Yeah,
also,
I'm not
Sylvia,
disagreeing.
You don't understand. Sylvia could also pair wine for an 8-course dinner if she had to. Like, this is a simple occasion.
Surprise!
Yeah.
What do you think, Lyra?
He looks around and goes, "This is amazing. Are those pies?"
They are.
Yes.
We haven't gotten pies before.
Good.
No, I made them.
Lionrith turns to Gorfag and goes, "I didn't know Sylvia can make a pie."
Me either. I've never seen her like cook for herself.
What's
I mean,
cooking?
that's valid.
Usually I don't have to.
We want to do something special for you before, we know tomorrow's a big day, and so we wanted to spend some time as friends.
He goes, "Well, I think it'll be fine tomorrow, so I'm not worried."
Well, that's good. Still, we've had a rough month, 2 months to say the least, so it's nice to take some time and just have a nice meal together.
He nods in agreement.
Well, let's dig in.
We have a great
Just keeps
dinner.
breaking down.
We have a great
I
dinner.
thought he was going to be a lot more worried, so I guess this was just for fun.
Koo's like, can you eat plates? No, but you can eat that, which looks like a plate, but you can't eat it. And you can eat those leaves, but not the ones on the trees. It's great.
Let's holding a plate of salad going, wait, what? You can't eat the ones off the trees?
They don't taste very good. Have you
Never
just been running
seen.
around eating the leaves from trees?
None of them taste good.
Gorfrak grabs some of the leaves off of the magic tree in the room and just, wait, we're not supposed to eat these?
I've derailed us. I'm sorry.
These are the cleanest leaves I've ever seen.
They're extremely clean.
Just because they're clean doesn't mean they taste good.
Well,
Speak for yourself, sister.
you guys have a lovely evening, and generally, I would say boost morale, whatever that may mean. We will fast forward to the next day, as I had said last time there were dragons flying overhead during it. And a gathering of people began going to that main structure that you guys went to last time, that library. It seems to be of a variety of different peoples and groups. That some people you're familiar with, other people are not. You get a group of people that look just like wizards, like really kind of like stereotypical wizards a little bit, and they're kind of like different colors. One's
Star
wearing
robes and pointy hats.
yeah, one is purple and one's green. There is of course the church committee, who doesn't seem to have any of the important figures that you're familiar with. There is who seems to be a red dragonborn that seems to be the leader of this group. It would seem that the queen herself is here, as well as the knight commander of the Griffin Riders. Druids, Sadia there is of course there, and a few other people that are with her, 2 others. Both of them are human and darker skinned, but you haven't met them before. You also see the old woman Fjorm, who is also a druid that you've encountered before, and someone who is a satyr, but seems to be part of the stars, the Circle of Stars druids. You have not met this person either.
So Allison is not there.
Allison is not present for this. There
And what's
are. Yes. What?
What's the Knight Commander's name? Is that Alistair? Or is that
Alistair.
something? Alistair.
My
Okay.
Commander Alistair. Then there is 3 other people who are dressed extremely differently from anybody you've seen here before. And they have these like robes that are like specifically colored in a blue, silver, and black. Each of these 3 different people, and then they have metallic ornaments are kind of around them in a way, like not say gauntlets, but like bracelets that kind of like are circular, kind of representing like wealth and things like that on different parts. They have a mixture of elegance and authority, and they also are also relatively young looking, I would say. You see a group of just dwarves, just straight up a bunch of dwarves that seem to be all part of the same group, but don't seem to be a political group.
Just their vibe.
Then there is the final group, which you are moderately familiar with, as the Reclaimers are here. Individuals that are here for this is the Green Dragonborn with the cloth object, the blue one that Ku doesn't like anymore, and there is a person in orange robes that would resemble something like Let would wear.
That's sus.
And that is everybody as you kind of approach this situation.
Oh man, now I've got to worry about the fact that I got beef to pick with the guy who stole my scarf.
So, are we in the? Is this like pre-summer? Everybody's getting ready to go, but we're all just in
So this is
summer?
kind of the as you get up to the building. This is kind of what you're seeing. I will also reiterate that for the Elven Council, for people who are not familiar, there is the leader, of course, who has long black hair. He's a wood elf. There is the one who's like the internal authority. She has short blonde hair. She's also a wood elf. And then there's the high elf who's completely bald. And he's also present and kind of talking between some of the different powers. They're kind of doing a little bit of mingling before things start. And so it's kind of like in and out of the building.
So are people, might make me roll for this, are people like mingling openly? Are people keeping to their own groups?
That would be an insight.
Okay. 22.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So from what you're seeing with how people are talking, which is the general chatter, it depends on the group. There's certain groups who are fully speaking openly to one another, not that big a deal. There's other people who dance around single thing they say. The people who are wearing the ornate metal pieces and with that group, they talk in, not say riddles, but with half truths and like they're out to get information from others than themselves getting away information. The druids themselves are being very open.
Interesting.
The queen is doing half truths. The church is being pretty open, and the dwarven company doesn't want to deal with anybody. The dwarven group, they don't. Anybody tries to talk to them, they just kind of like tell off. The reclaimers are like keeping to themselves pretty much. They're not trying to interact with anybody, and if someone tries to, they kind of get out of the situation. Oh yeah, and the wizards, they actually speak in riddles, but I think it's for their own entertainment than anybody else.
I turn to Sylvia and Let and Ku. I mean, you're there too, but you wouldn't know them like we do.
Yeah.
Should we maybe go talk to the queen? And we haven't seen her since we left Lux.
Wouldn't be bad to speak with her and Alistair as well.
Am I allowed to do that?
I mean, it depends on.
We saved their lives. I think we're allowed to speak to them.
Well,
all right.
Sylvia, you know better than any of us how fickle royalty can be. We may bring back bad memories to her of the day her son died and her eldest son became a traitor.
Middle son.
But we're the reason that things weren't worse.
Do we want to go?
I don't know. Usually when I go talk to these people with one of these so-called educations, I usually make things worse.
But refrain from speaking.
I was going to say you're welcome to hang back if you'd like. It seems like there's no real social order here. It's just kind of whoever wants to talk can talk.
No, that's okay. I'll walk up and I'll say hello or something.
I mean, it's a friendly reminder that we're walking in with the topic of the summit, so people are probably looking at us.
True.
That's not Ku speaking, that's me speaking.
Is Lionrith with us, or is he kind of...
So I did iterate of the important characters. I will make the additional point here that Lionrith is with you. Okay. But there are also additionally lots of guards and things around. Of the different groups. So any of the groups that I listed off, they usually have a group with them that I would say isn't political in any nature. Except the three people with the unique design, metal design ornaments. Those are just the three of them. The wizards are by themselves. The druids are relatively by themselves, but I didn't name off all the individuals kind of there together. But everyone else has a group kind of with them.
I turn to Lionrith and thinking about like Dimitri and Foley, I take out like a piece of silver and I bend it and I give it to him. I don't say what it is. I say, if anybody tells you to come with them, ask them what I handed you.
Okay. He takes it.
Yeah, and if they don't say exactly what this is, don't go with them. Get my attention, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I look at Sylvia. Shall we go talk to the queen?
Might as well.
Great.
Okay.
Ku's gone.
Well. Oh gosh, that means Ku's just trying to rip the fabric from everyone's clothes.
You go talk to the queen?
Do you even check in with us, or are you just gone?
No, Ku's just gone.
Cool. So we can't even warn you not to take anything. Love that for us. All right, let's go.
It's like a little rabbit.
There's enough going on that it's plausible that we wouldn't have noticed. Okay,
There's a robe. Slip away.
We approached the queen. Yes,
why do
but
I feel like
Gorfrak and Sylvia are used to some form of babysitting to the point to where it's like, all right, do we have all of the idiots?
Why do I feel like Let noticed and didn't say a word?
Oh, 100%.
Because that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because that probably wants to go run off too.
Probably.
So-
Okay, so we approach the queen.
You do approach Queen Maria, and as you approach, she, of course, has this very regal essence to her, and she also is does have a like more battle hero look, in that she kind of has some armor on, but it's also tied to like elegant clothing as well, with a long cape and whatnot. When she turns to you, the way she stands and keeps herself, the best way I think I can personally describe it is almost like she turns in like in an anime and just looks like this beautiful person who's like immaculate and is like, "Hello, great heroes," but she doesn't actually say that. Just that's what everyone thinks and feels. She just has an aura of charisma and confidence and authority. I think you've only talked with her briefly a while ago, out of game. And she says, "Well, it is good to see everyone."
It's good to see you in more favorable circumstances than last time.
Yes, Sylvia. It's certainly a topic that we need to discuss and make a decision on. I wish everything goes quickly, and I don't. She kind of glances at Lynrith and then looks back to you and says, "I relatively trust your judgment, as my husband and Alistair does. I see no
That's good to
reason
hear.
to be against you." And she turns to the person who's not currently here today, with Kai, and goes, "I would like to speak with you when time permits. So after the summit." Kai says something, and she will let me know at a future date.
If you guys haven't noticed, Faith isn't here today. I forgot to announce that at the top. She'll be back next time.
Yeah, if you guys
Well,
didn't
it's,
notice, shame on you.
She's gone. Well, it is good to hear that we still have allies.
Well, of course, we did select you as representatives for the various things, and I don't see why not. You haven't proved anything to us that you shouldn't. However, I don't know how things will go, but we will see.
I don't either. Yeah, we shall see.
Thank you for your vote of confidence, Your Majesty.
Of course. And if you don't mind me asking, last time I spoke with you or saw you, you had someone else cut with you that was shorter, and I will state this plainly, was the street urchin.
Rude.
Yes, it's a long story, but Fern is no longer with us due to her own personal poor decisions.
She's
But
dead?
no, she is frozen
She's
in time.
not quite dead. She's just kind of in a giant ball of ice where time doesn't move, but space around her moves. Smoke is just coming out of Let's ears as they're trying to figure out how space and time work.
Like not catch 22, but like what? Let was paying attention to that.
At this point, I probably look around and say, "But we do have a new addition with us." Oh shit, where's Koo?
Don't swear in front of the queen.
Let's gonna point in one direction and go, Koo went that way. I haven't seen her since.
Interesting. I am not surprised from the company you carry at this point.
Damn.
Well,
If we
It was
don't
a
have
shock
someone
to
that
my
smells
family
weird,
as
the group
well.
is incomplete.
Excuse me? What?
If we don't have somebody that smells weird, the group is incomplete.
What? Not now.
Why is she asked?
That's an interesting look on the situation. I have other things I need to attend to.
I say,
People to
thank you,
talk
Your
with.
Highness. If there's anything we can do for the crown, please let us know.
I will not let you know. Alistair or someone he designates will let you know.
Much appreciated.
Of course.
And she departs.
As soon as she walks away, Let's gonna turn to Gorfak and be like, she seems rude. But like in a very low volume as to not share it with everyone else.
I was gonna say, are we still in their camp? Like, are people loyal to them still? Because obviously we probably made it past a couple guards and advisors to get to the queen.
There isn't a large like group here. It's like it's like an entourage. Like there are guards looking around. There are Griffin riders in the air, sort of thing. There are people around keeping an eye on things. Don't make that seem like there isn't any security going. I would say probably with some of your natural perceptions, you know that there are people keeping an eye on things.
Do we see the dragons?
They're gone.
Oh.
What
I
color was the
respond
dragon?
to that. Well, when you have somebody waiting on, or when you have so many people waiting on you hand and foot, you tend to act however you want to act.
The ones you saw that morning
So that's why Sylvia's like that.
was blue and silver.
Again, while Sylvia's not exactly the most hospitable person, she's still much better than most nobles.
Hey, Let.
Probably true.
I noticed those monks over there in the orange robes. Do you think they would know anything about what's going on with Tenzin, with him not responding? I mean, is your monastery close to theirs?
Why am I having a stroke? What color robes is that person wearing?
Orange.
Orange.
Please hold, I have to check something, I'm sorry.
Do, do,
But I think I would probably know them.
We've danced around this topic before.
We have, which is why I asked a very pointed question.
I thought Let had
We have.
talked to that individual before, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Okay, yeah, we have. Okay, yeah, and Let would probably know them. So yeah, Let's gonna like really aggressively point in that direction and go, hey! I've spoken to them before. They didn't respond to me.
Do you want to go talk to them again?
They notice and quickly
Yeah.
make the opportunity to not make eye contact and get out of there.
Let is going to follow without a second thought. Let's not even at this point. Let forgot Gorfrak existed or even asked the question, and Let has hightailed it, little feet clacking on the floor.
Does Let not wear shoes?
Probably not. I think Let wears shoes in the artwork. Yeah,
They're
Let wears shoes in the
drawn
artwork. Yeah.
shoes.
Or is it like the
Yeah.
foot wraps with the black kind of moccasin
Yeah.
type thing?
That's
Yeah,
it.
kind of like that, but of course, at the speed that Let is running and with the lack of social truth that Let has, it's just little.
Slapping feet on the ground.
So you'll need to make a perception check.
Those are too fast.
No, they were just right.
How do you even make that noise? Okay.
All right, perception.
Mhm.
Guys, my dice are not
Yeah,
friends with me
so
tonight.
immediately, this person goes in the crowd gone. But to be honest, that's not hard to do because you like stepped on like a sharp rock and you're like, ow! Looked away for a second, looked back on. Like I don't know where this
The
person
sound
went.
of my feet didn't just cover them up quickly. Like that wasn't enough to give it away that I was chasing them.
Yeah. It's
Can I is there like a second floor to this place?
inside, yes.
We're still
There is.
outside, right?
I would say inside, outside. It's like a bit of both.
Can
like there's an upper
climb
floor
up on
to
the
that
second
main.
floor and look?
Yeah, you can go up to that second floor and like look out from that like library balcony area. When you do that, you can see the kind of the center area that they have like chairs and tables set up. for the meeting for today and so forth. You do not see this person. They are gone.
Okay. I guess I would then rejoin Sylvia and Gorfrak. Really probably upset and like my feet not clacking near as loud, but maybe more of like a somber, just a little pitter patter, and just go, I think I know that person, but I can't find them. And if you see them again, you let me know. But I'm going to be sneaky this time, kind of like how we had to be sneaky when we ran up behind Fern when she smelled too bad and we had to dump buckets of water on her.
I think in that few minutes while Let's away, I think I lean in to Sylvia and I whisper, "Can you cast detect magic without raising a lot of suspicion in this moment?"
Do I have to roll perception for that, DM?
I don't think perception in this case. I think this would be more of an insight check.
Okay. Well, because with
You're determining if everyone else will get ticked off at what you're going to be doing.
Okay, fair enough. But also, adjacent question: if I'm using the book, is it less obvious than if I was just casting it normally?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I think because I think of the power of the book, it might come off as you're doing something more dangerous than if you're just doing a simple hand gesture spell.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. So, knowing this group of people, I would say they probably understand the level you might be casting the spell, and they may not be too threatened. This would be like pulling out a knife in the middle of like a heavily armed group of people who could probably destroy you in a few seconds. And in terms of metaphors here.
Okay.
So
it's
I
more
would say,
precautionary than aggressive.
Yeah, like it would be more like, okay, don't go up to an important individual and just cast a spell. It might be like, let's go out a bit, cast a spell, walk back in, you'll probably be fine.
We've seen Sylvia cast detect magic before. Are there somatic components to that spell, or is it just verbal?
I don't personally know offhand here. I can check pretty quick though. To detect the magic, it's verbal and somatic.
Okay.
So, like I said, I don't think people will get too upset about casting this kind of level of magic. They'll kind of know, oh, it's some sort of abjuration spell that she's casting. Like it's not too worrisome, but it would be a situation of if you did it right next to the queen, there would be people being like, what are you doing? That sort of situation.
Okay, well then I would like to do that.
While she's doing that, you need to roll perception for shady characters. Oh, not with a 12.
I think that I should also probably have Celia do roll perception.
Okay.
Can I just use my passive perception instead of the 12 I got?
Nice.
26. Okay, so I think even additionally with this, because of the irony of how things played out. So the orange monk that Let was going after, you can see this person. They seem to be specifically trying to avoid Let. So no matter what happens, everyone else can relatively see this person except Let. In terms of like, they're keeping an eye on Let and therefore to make sure that they are not seen by said Let.
I was gonna say, you're telling me a bald-headed, orange robe-wearing person is hard to see in a crowd?
No, that's the point. They aren't hard to see, but they're making it sure that you're the only one who matters, not being able to be seen.
This sounds like Let's entire life trying to make buddies.
So everyone else definitely has magic stuff on them. You don't see anybody like invisible or anything as something I might be concerned about. It's kind of hard to tell. Like a lot of people do have like some sort of illusionary magic on them, but you also get the impression that like in these types of noble gatherings, there could be people who like use magic to make themselves look prettier.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like it might be simple magic, but it's still illusionary magic that is present on a person.
Does the queen have illusionary magic?
Of course.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah. When you met her, probably almost everything intricately on her probably has something like that, and definitely her armor and clothing. So you get there's probably a grandiose this is the grandiose armor that we use for impressing people, because you don't see really a lot too. I mean, there's some aberration on there, but you don't think this is actually the equipment someone goes out to battle with.
Yeah, fair enough. It's very ceremonial.
Yeah. But otherwise, I would say relatively in the clear. You don't see any threats.
Gotcha. Nothing suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to go up to the druids at some point, but I also want to let other people go up to their groups.
Ku, your voice isn't coming through.
We're vibing. I mean, I
Okay.
specifically am going after that blue guy from the Reclaimers, but
Oh no!
Oh gosh.
we can do that now or later. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, why don't we finish up this section, and then we'll go into the summit after break. So let's finish up everything we want to do here now. Then we'll jump through. So this is your final chance.
Here.
Who?
Sarah Deacon is not here.
He is not here.
Interesting.
But do you really not want to go talk to the other monks?
I want to go talk to the other monks.
Okay, let's do that.
I thought there was only one.
There's only one. There's no other monks.
Sylvia didn't point out.
Okay.
On a 26.
So what? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If I point him out to what happens?
Combat.
Basically, a similar situation will occur where there might be an exchange of looks at one another, but then you'll just hide again. They'll just hide. It'll just continue the process.
I don't know what's up.
Man, what is this guy's problem?
I don't like this at all.
I love it. I want to pull a knife on
Is
him.
Let aware? Would Let notice that this person is really avoiding them?
Why don't you roll a insight check?
With your plus 11.
You're pretty good at reading people.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, give it a try here. Wow. Okay.
My dice are trashed tonight. Thank God I got the plus 11.
It's still not bad. With how difficult it is to find this person, I mean, you've been around gatherings and places before. You probably would have spotted this person by now. And if they wanted to talk to you, this would be easier. But this is pretty hard.
Let's gonna turn to Sylvia and Gorfrak then and say, all right, okay, so if you see someone that looks like me but doesn't look like me but looks like me but is wearing robes like mine but they're orange.
Yeah, he's right over there.
Yeah. Could you go talk to them and try to find out who they are?
Sure.
I know it's not Tenzin. Tenzin doesn't wear orange robes. Tenzin's way too old for that.
Okay, so what does the orange mean? Are they of a higher or lower status than you, or is that how that works? Do the colors mean something?
Well, yeah, we don't just pick random colors to wear every day like you guys do.
How would I know that? You haven't exactly talked about your monastery a lot, Let.
I've been wearing the same clothes for the last 2 months.
Sylvia's been wearing black for the last month.
I really believe that Gorfrak wakes up every day, dips in a stream, and goes, "I'm clean. Mother Earth loves me."
And Sylvia somehow travels with so many different clothing options.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yet at the same time is somehow packed so sensibly that she's not wasting any weight.
She definitely has a purse of holding or something like that has all of her stuff
Something. But let's gonna go. No, if they're wearing orange robes, they're younger than I am, most likely.
How old? Wait, how old are you?
Well, I don't know how old I am. Okay, so listen, you know how when you're little and everybody goes through all the tests together, and then at some point, some people just kind of are better at some things than other people, and so they get to, wear the new color.
Sure.
All right, okay. So anyways, I wear blue, but I don't wear light blue. I wear dark blue.
What is that?
And then the little short ones, they wear the orange.
I think it's
So
the
light
inverse.
blue
You're
is
wearing
better
light
than
blue.
dark-
The dark blue is
Am I
the
wearing
older
light
one.
blue?
So
No,
dark
no.
blue.
I'm looking at it right here. Elder monks wear light blue.
Okay.
Middle age. Oh shit. No. Let just wears like base blue.
Yeah.
I really should have picked any other color. This one's hard for me.
So lighter blue.
I went
Got
with
your
one
own
that would be easy
colorblind.
for Madison to draw. I went with one that would be easy for Madison to draw. This is hard for me. Okay, so Let wears like a base of like a medium blue. And then somebody like Tenzin would be wearing dark blue. And then really extreme elders are wearing like light blue, like almost see-through type of blue, and there's a reason for that we'll get into at some point. And then youth would be wearing orange. I don't know how to describe this in staying characters though.
Dark blue is
In your theater of
higher
mind,
than-
imagine Let's saying these things.
So dark blue
Yeah,
is higher
so it
than
goes
your blue.
Orange is younglings, and then it's like a basic blue, and then a dark blue, and then a super light blue.
So
In
you're
my
just
theater of
above
the
a
mind,
youngling?
Let us walking up to random people and holding up their arm for what blue color it is based on what they're wearing. That's my theater of the mind.
So you're
That's perfect.
barely above a youngling, is what you're telling us.
I'm not barely above a youngling.
They can punch with air. They're above a youngling.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. You know, younglings do stuff like throw rocks at each other and hit each other with their fingers. You know, they don't really know how to fist yet.
Do they?
Maybe.
Do they also collect bird bodies as currency?
They're going to when I get home.
Let's gonna start a revolution that is gonna introduce capitalism via bird bones.
No, Let is Karl Marx for sure. I would still like to talk to the druids unless we really need to go to break.
I can go try to talk to him if you want.
Yeah, that's what I've been asking. I don't understand why they're wearing orange robes and they're outside. Because quite frankly, somebody should be watching them. And it should be somebody wearing, well, at least a level higher of robe than me.
So dark blue.
I'm not even fit to babysit this person. But
that
somebody
I would agree
needs
with.
to go. Well, somebody needs to go talk to them and figure out why they're here and what their name is and why they won't talk to me.
You stay here. I will go talk to them.
Because see, every time I walk closer, they disappear.
So why don't you and I go walk away so they aren't scared? Talk to Sylvia.
Okay. But only if we don't have to eat the leaves off of a tree, because I've learned that we're not even supposed to be doing that.
I agree. Today would be a bad day to eat leaves off of a tree in front of all these people who are deciding whether we're competent or not.
Yeah.
In general, you should avoid speaking during the summit.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to go right into this then?
Sure.
All right. You approach the orange-wearing person, who is ironically with someone who is also wearing blue, but is not wearing monk robes, but is also wearing robes, like more wizardly-like.
Okay. Don't we already know these individuals anyway, if they're the Reclaimers?
So you have met the Dragonborn one. His name's Alexian. You've met him.
Right.
You've briefly met the orange monk guy at the funeral. That was the first time you've met them. And blue guy was only with Ku and the Gorfrak team. Your group didn't meet them.
Right. Was the monk guy there? He wasn't there as like security at the funeral. Was he just there?
He was.
Okay.
They were there for that, yeah. Because they're part of the Reclaimer group. Encompasses a lot of different people, and only a portion of that group was there, including them.
Okay.
Wait, so he's hanging out with the guy Ku's going after?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes, it's gonna go great.
So, as you approach, the three of them are there, and again, they are relatively staying out of conversations and things, or at least trying to.
Okay, well, I'll approach him and say, "Hello. It's been a while, but I believe you were at my sister's funeral, were you not?"
Nods and gets this like awkward with basically like, yeah, don't I know you for my sister's funeral? Like, we've met before, right? And Alexian steps in and says, yes, he was there. They're just hanging out with us today.
I'm a bit perplexed because they are clearly trying to avoid Let.
You've talked with Let. You know it's hard. Like, they ask some questions, and they it. Our friend here doesn't like being talked to a bunch.
Accosted.
Accosted.
Verbally.
That is yes, exactly. Not accosted. Because I do believe they talked before, but then they got really personal, and yeah.
Yeah, in their
they
defense, Let really was just like, "What's under your shirt? What color is your back?"
Are they like Let in that they don't talk about whatever monastery they grew up in, anything about that? Or was it just a bit much to be interrogated by Let?
Let me check a few things here.
Lore. I really am hoping they're from
write that
the rival
down.
monastery.
Oh. Okay. Well, they can, and glances at them and goes, I mean, I don't think that's an issue. And turns back and says, well, they're not from where Let's from, if that answers your question.
Sure, I haven't exactly seen many monks. Let is one of the only, and they are very particular about not discussing their monastery, so I didn't know if your friend here was particularly sensitive to Let questioning them.
Yeah, Alexia looks back at him and goes, to the two of them, and says, I think it's a forest, right? And then the orange monk nods, and so does the blue companion does as well, while keeping an eye on things, and goes, yeah, I think that's... they haven't really specified where.
Understandable. I think Let is also concerned because at their monastery, Orange is youngling, apparently, and so Let thinks that your partner there should have a babysitter.
I see. I can see where that might be an issue, and then glances back to the orange monk person and quickly glances back.
Why should I not say that?
You can't just go running around telling other people about what's going on in the monastery, dingus.
I
You
can't
didn't ask for a
discuss
vow
the
there.
colors of...
No.
Oh my gosh, it's
Everything
fine.
is
It's not
a
like I'm
secret.
discussing. Technically, I know more about their monastery than they know about yours.
That's true.
So yeah.
Well, I will relay this information to Let, and I'm sure they will stop trying to chase them down.
That would be helpful, please. Thank you.
Of course. And unless they have something else to say to me, I will leave.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just deeply curious if Sylvie's around when Ku appears.
I'll leave that up to you. there was a lot of time between you left and at this point.
Yeah, but I don't know if Ku would have jumped right in, or if she would have spent some time like stalking around, watching, trying to see her scarf.
Well, you're a relatively expert rogue. I think you would at least wait, especially if you see Sylvia coming in this direction.
Waiting for Sylvia to leave.
Yeah, and if Sylvia was here, I think with your abilities, it would be hard to detect, and at least with the people who are present in the conversation and who you want to speak with. So yeah, we'll jump right to you as you go to the blue man.
I think it's less of a go and more of a appears
Uh-huh.
with a knife, going scarf.
And the blonde-haired person goes, "Oh yeah," and hands it back to you. I don't need it.
Kind of like making sure it's okay. Took it.
It's
Why?
completely fine.
Rude. Take collections.
Well, you want to steal my friend's stuff, so
For reason. There was reason. Not greed. We trade collection. Figured it out. What is under? Can I have just cloth?
nope, I'm not allowed to.
Just kind of like reach into a side and pull out. Got robe recently. Very nice. Very nice robe for cloth.
Trade?
Yeah. Trade.
It's very important to my friend, so can't have that. Very
Why?
important.
Why? What more? Because important.
I think you'll find out. Maybe. I don't know. Where do you plan to go in the world? What do you plan to do?
Collect.
So maybe you'll run into it. Give enough time.
You's weird. Weird.
That's weird.
Very weird. These guys are standing not far from this dragonborn, right?
Yeah, like they're all kind of within the same group and one another. And I do think that when you do appear, the blue guy kind of makes sure it stands in between you and the dragonborn.
Just peer around him. I think Ku impulsively goes to grab for like a hem of their robe. No knife, not to cut it. Just grabs it and looks at it really closely. I'd like to roll insight.
Go for it.
Listen, Ku doesn't understand people, but she understands cloth, and you can learn a lot about a person. I say, as I also have a really bad insight. I rolled an 18.
So
Yo!
Oh my god.
So frame your question a little bit better for me, so I can give you a better answer here.
Yes. Ku isn't asking a specific question of what does he mean? What do they mean when they say you might run into it? And it's more of a, where is this person from? What is their deal? Why are they the way they are? Have you seen the movie Atlantis? The Disney movie?
I think so, yes.
Are you familiar with the character Mole? The dirt guy?
Is this the guy that is like, looks like he's trying to digger things around? Like he's like a miner kind of looking character? Yeah.
He's literally
There's this scene where he picks up a piece of dirt and learns everything about the main character from that dirt.
Okay.
And I'm envisioning a similar scene.
Yeah, I think you get
exactly what you
referencing when you brought up that movie instantly.
So it's fairly simplistic.
Mhm.
It isn't heavily designed. It's well, I do ironically say this is the blue guy. It's because it just had the toad just in like blue, almost like monk or church robes, but not like church as in this games world, kind of more like almost religious practitioner.
Mhm.
But heavily simplistic in design. It seems like it's fairly high quality and is made to be durable. It does not look like it's damaged or dirty at all. It's fairly clean. And it, at least with the way that it's used on this person, it typically is shown to kind of have a like can easily kind of relatively come off, but also is able to like cover most of the body.
So this guy can kick ass, take names, also probably not messing with me.
You probably like it. This person doesn't seem at all threatening.
Okay.
Even when you like examine the cloth, the person is not concerned by that at all.
Does the cloth remind me of Let's Cloth?
No, not at all.
Interesting. Cool.
Who
I'll
is
drop it and
this?
wander away.
Okay.
Just without a word, just drop it, wander away.
All right, and kind of like right when that concludes, there is it sounded like a horn, and it sounds like okay, now the summit is going to start. We'll head to our break, and we'll come right back to it.
Oh my gosh, okay, wait, I haven't found the button. Okay, we'll be back after this, viewers. nonsense.
All right, so the horn is sounded and everyone kind of files into this big hall. As a reminder from last time, this is kind of like this like a central archives and sort of government building of the elves and Philian Thalor. In the center area, there were just kind of like a few chairs for the council members. Now there is the same chairs there as well, but then some chairs and tables along the outer ring of it to kind of create this kind of like circular kind of setup. A lot of the guards and so forth kind of take positions up around in the library on the outside edges, on the bottom and top floors. There is little like assigned like name tag for where people are supposed to be sitting. And if they have a banner of some sort, it's present at their section of this long table. You guys are referred to as the Silver Sentinels, and that's kind of all you're provided there. But you guys are present there, and they try to like corral Einrith into like a specific spot there, but he's completely uninterested in that, and then they're like, okay, whatever.
So he just
He's
sits with
present
us,
here,
I'm
but he's
assuming?
not like actively present within the conversation. So, as a general round the clock here, we have at noon, 12 o'clock, we have our Elven Council. Then 1 o'clock is you guys / Lionrith. That's where you guys are there. Kind of we're going to like the quarter mark. You're gonna have the church. Then you're gonna have the wizard group, which is named the Phoenix Council. Then you'll have the king.
We lost Nathaniel's audio. Please hold.
I was like, was that just me?
No, we lost his audio for sure. Nope, can't hear you, dude. I'll pause us while we get this figured out. We'll be right. Sorry about that, folks. We're back.
Yeah, we'll have those issues. All right. So we have the Phoenix Council. Then we have the Kingdom. Then we have the Druids, with Sadi and them. Then we have the Confederation of Dralcon, which is encompassing the weird designed people, the metal and authority group. We then have the Reclaimers, and then we have the Torgoloths, and there's some sort of dwarven group. Everything good so far?
So the wizard group is the Phoenix?
Yeah, the Phoenix Council.
Okay, and we don't know anything about them either?
If you like to, you can do some rolls.
Okay, what would I need to roll?
Any of the knowledge checks of your choosing.
Can we get a spelling on the Confederation?
Yeah. Dralcon. Confederation of Dralcon.
So investigation would work?
No, this is like
Or no.
this would be like history, religion, arcana, nature, any of one of those
Gotcha.
in their respective
Okay.
fields.
I think the Confederation is secretly dragons.
Oh my gosh, that was such a bad roll.
You don't know a lot about the council. You've heard the name, but you don't know what they've done.
Okay.
It's somewhat known in historical circles. Anything else?
What about the what was the group that was the metal
The Confederation
Confederation of Halcon? You said.
of Drawcon, yes.
Okay.
If you want to roll history on
I'm-
that, then you can as
yeah.
well.
I think that those are dragons.
That
Okay,
was
makes
much
it 28.
better.
So Masson isn't too far off. They are representing the Confederation that is on a different continent, and they're basically a
Oh.
country that is dragon ruled.
Oh.
Interesting.
So they are like the dominant faction off continent, and you would imagine that this group of people is the important talkers, or at least representatives of them.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's wild.
Okay, so I will get started with the opening discussion and talking points. Okay. So the Elven Council leader, Benali, he is the one who stands up and kind of does like a little bit of a walking around in the circular center area and says, "Welcome everyone to this Summit of Powers. We all know why our reason here is, and that is for the examination and discussion of the newest divine that has been graced upon our material plane. With the various other powers at play, it is up to us to figure out where the world should stand on this matter, as the world sits on the precipice of possible destruction. If we fail to unite, then we will all be destroyed, most likely. I wish that we can all come to an agreement and arrangement, and we will, as the elves of the Great Woods, do our best to mediate such a discussion. I'll begin by introducing the various groups here, and then propose our initial question for the group at large. Our first group is the Silver Sentinels, who have been the chosen caretakers of the Divine for the known time frame he has been present here. Many of you have suggested concerns about them, and we will bring up a topic about that later, as they are a focus.
Right.
Can I roll insight on something?
Go for it.
Oh! 29.
29, yep.
Nice.
So bad to waste this on. Would it be inappropriate for me to do like a little druid craft, like when he says Silver Sentinels, like a little firework thing? Would that be is this the wrong room for that?
Yes.
You will get favor out of certain groups.
Which group?
Like basically all the people you think are uptight won't like it. All the people you think are the more fun liking groups will probably like it. I don't think I'll need to specify probably those groups.
The nat 20 you gotta give me something.
The council probably will like you. The druids would, and the reclaimers and Torglots will probably like that. The church, the king, and the confederation will dislike that.
Everyone dislikes that.
But see, the political factions don't like it. All the other factions, that's kind of neat.
Girl, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Do I want to use a 3rd level spell slot or not?
No.
Why-
No, it's not
Why-
worth it.
Fine.
Let's see if Gorfrat can surely behave.
No. I hate
Surely
the
Gorfrat can
establishment.
behave better than Let in this instance.
I hate the establishment so much. All right, I'll sit on my hands.
Okay. Then we'll go to the next group. This is the Church of Creation, who is being led by Solus, the Saint of the Forge. And their group, and they'll be representing them. We have the Phoenix Council, with their second in command, Yankee Slavius, and Nesmore the Green.
We've met. Nesmore.
You have encountered Nesmore before.
Yeah.
We then have the Queen, who as well has her Knight Commander, Alistair, the Griffin Riders. And we have the Druids, and their specific representatives, Sadia, with Orst and Vorn, as their specific group. We have the Confederation of Kithdarin, Pazu, and Abet. And in this order for colors is blue, silver, black. We then have the Reclaimers, with their spokesperson, Alexian. Then we have the Torgalath, with Rexor as their kind of representative and speaker for the Dwarven Company. Any comments at this point? Okay. He then goes, our first topic, which we believe that needs to be asked should the greater good need it in the grand calculus of the universe. Should this divine be kept alive in terms of the dangers he could pose? The first group to speak up is the church,
Ow.
and they immediately say, we believe that is a, well, I was speaking in our good old friend Liliana there. She's not present. Solus goes, well, we believe that that is a wrong assumption to understate. He is the son of Ethios himself and would not destroy or harm the world as we know it. It would be a act of aggression from us if he were to be harmed in any way. Then the Phoenix Council goes, but he does have the other half of them, and should he side one way or the other, it could spell doom for this world. Would that not be the case? You can speak, yeah.
Wait, what is our, like, do we wait to talk or do we?
Is it
If you
just
so I will just keep talking until you raise your hand.
Okay, cool.
Because they're just going to keep going on their topic, and then a vote will be made at the end of their little discussion. So go for
I
it.
would like to know how heavy are rolls going to be in this? Because if that's the case,
Pretty
I should
high.
not be the charisma person.
It's going to be like when you make an argument for something, I'm going to have you having you roll persuasion.
All right.
Or just
Okay.
depending on
I
if you
think
lie about something.
just from a
Okay.
just from a base level standpoint, I'm just gonna be whispering in Sylvia's ear and giving her the help action
Yeah.
constantly.
That's fine.
So I'm gonna
And I'm gonna
lean
speak
over
up
and whisper. I'm gonna lean over and whisper. Tell him about Maple Grove and how he hated what his mother did there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Based on my group is the group that has spent the most time with Linemouth since he's been in the material plane, and I think I can say with confidence that currently we see no signs that he would ever turn to Valdara. If anything, he is vehemently opposed to her. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with what happened in Maple Grove, but Valdara destroyed the entire town, and Linemouth was very clearly displeased. Also, Valdara tried to stall us there, and Einrith was by no means keen to meet her.
Of course, roll with persuasion with advantage. While you're doing that, the dwarves will respond and say, well, of course you said that, because you're his friends and allies. No one else saw what happened but the rest of ya. Do we have any other evidence of that? With a 16, you get a few nods from different people.
Okay.
That guy needs to lay off the cigarettes.
Oh man. Okay.
Of course, the people that have interacted with him the most, aside from us, aren't even here.
I mean, Gorfrak being very much like, does anybody have detect thoughts in your group? I mean, I'm happy to replay for you the day.
I do, but I don't think they trust that me.
The Phoenix Council will say, well, I would make the comment and say that memories can be fallible depending on if they've been edited or not. As such, we cannot guarantee that in the current moment that anything that you have remembered is what truly had occurred.
And what's the point in this discussion at all? Does our opinion mean nothing if all of our memories could have been altered? We have to draw the line somewhere.
I put my hand on Sylvia, who's already getting upset. one round into this, and I say,
I'm not upset. I'm just saying that we're gonna hold you to the same standard, Bucko. I did
The
not
Queen
say
will
that. That
interject
was
here.
me.
I want to rebut Sylvia. I want to say, that's a valid point, sir. I will say I have firsthand knowledge knowing what memory tampering feels like, and I can tell you that my recollection of that day has not been tainted.
The Queen will also add and say, friends and allies here, we cannot delve into the suspicion of evidence, in that we should be looking more into our own philosophy and ideals. I think it would be remiss to say that to attack somebody on their word when, in all respects, it's the best word that we have in this moment.
Thank you.
Sadi will also speak up and say, it is difficult to make the assumption there, but I also believe that with what we end up deciding, maybe we should be choosing based on our own philosophy rather than maybe on the evidence of fact, if that is difficult for you to choose from. Let, did you want to do something? You were waving your hand there for a moment.
Yeah, I was just waiting.
Okay.
Let's gonna lean forward and go, Your Honor, with all due respect, if my memories were tampered with, would I be able to do this? And is gonna hold up a paper that is a graphic depiction of Valdara exploding Maple Grove.
How scribbly.
Okay. So what you're saying is Let can't write to save their life, but excellent at drawing.
I didn't say it was excellent. I said it was a graphical depiction.
Okay, well that's the headcanon
just
in my
scribbles.
mind.
It's just scribbles.
It's actually probably because Let has spent their entire life not being able to write. It's actually probably pretty decent.
That's what I was gonna say. That's yeah.
To be fair, you could roll a performance check and see how it is. And
Sure, why not?
you'll gain advantage for this, but I won't tell you why.
Oh, I don't like that. What
Line
am I
note's
wrong?
probably helping you or something.
Because it was a traumatic moment and it's scarred into your brain.
Yeah.
We watched
Or that
70
too.
Oh
people.
no,
You get to roll one more time. You do have advantage.
Okay. Can I get a different set of digital dice? Thanks.
You can change the color, that's about it.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah.
So
Yo!
again, you tried doing this twice while they were doing it. The first one you immediately messed up. You're like, okay, I can't do that one. That one's bad. And you do the other one, and you get pretty intricate with what you have at your disposal, which is one color. It's pretty well shaded, but you can only do so much. It doesn't look too bad. And their claimers will Alexion will go, I mean, they're right. Like,
Let's gonna like tack that to the front of the table and be like, then they're gonna like just clear their throat and be like, I rest my one and only point, and is going to sit right back down and be quiet.
Good plan.
Can I make a telepathic connection with, at the very least, Sylvia, if not also Let and Gorfrak?
yeah, I don't see
Cool.
it. Why not?
Because I'd like to take advantage of it and just ask to all of them. They're questioning whether or not we should kill Lionrith because it's inconvenient.
It's more complicated. I'm responding telepathically, obviously. More complicated than that, but basically.
It's a whole life.
I think
So,
we're
yeah.
straying away from that because the church has made it, which again, obviously we think Lyra's life is precious, but the church has at least made the point that it would be considered an act of aggression towards Atheos, so I don't think anyone's seriously considering that.
Tell them you can't kill somebody just because their existence causes problems.
Well, I agree.
Sylvia, I'm with Ku here. I think most of these people would want to get rid of Lionrith just because his existence poses a major change to their day to day.
Fair. But luckily for us, they can't just decide that without major consequences.
Let's only mental and telepathic response to Ku is, wait, what? And then it's nothing but static noise.
All the brain
Just the
cells went into
dial-up
the drawing.
noise from Let.
It's the dial-up noise that I could do an impression of, but I won't for the sake of everyone.
We don't want more audio issues.
No.
So, the Elven Counselor continues and goes, well, that certainly is a interesting artistic interpretation of the event. Well, we have some opening statements and ideas about this. From what is discussed, it would seem that he is not in association with Valdara right now, and then from our own research, has been up to avoiding her up to this point. I would see it to believe that he is on the side of creation more than anything else. The Phoenix Council will then state that could certainly be the case, but the Vines are fickle. They can change their mind however they wish, should the opportunity arise. I don't know if we can guarantee that. The Druids will then state that, well, that is a possibility, but I would say that most people have not interacted with the divine, and not in this capacity. I don't know if we can even guarantee that to be the case, and I would even say that they are more consistent with their ideals than you and I could be. The Confederation will state that, as they have not spoken up to this point, well, it seems to me that you wouldn't be as concerned if this person didn't have power to alter the world as you know it. I know someone of your capabilities can't do that, but other creatures can. So maybe you should consider that. And the queen then speaks up and says, well, I think we're at a consensus now. I think we take this to a vote, and looks at the Elven Counselor. And he looks a little confused and then says, I would assume so as well. We will start from the right here. And turns to the Sentinels.
We're
Yeah.
voting whether or not to kill Lionrith.
Yep.
No, kill.
We are obviously in favor of not killing him.
Okay.
Nathaniel, I'm readying an action to summon a water elemental in the middle of the circle.
The next group in line is the church, who is on your side. So they're pro. Then the council.
They're pro
is,
killing him?
No,
No,
they're
pro.
on your side. Pro. They're on the
Pro-life.
Lionrith team, right? Pro Lionrith, con Lionrith.
Okay.
Church is on your side. The council, the Phoenix Council, is not. They are against you.
Of course. Of course.
The queen doesn't immediately vote, but then votes for Lionrith. The Druids vote Lionrith. The Confederation votes Lionrith. The Reclaimers vote Lionrith. and the Dwarven Company also vote Lionrith.
So the only
Okay,
ones
so-
voting against him is the wizards.
The Wizards, yes.
Is Sears Deacon a known member of this council?
No, Sirius isn't
Or
here.
I would say
I know
Arcana
he's
check.
here.
Oh, of the wizards. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'll
roll
help
Arcana
Sylvia
check.
to talk about this. Sylvia, roll Arcana, and I'm helping you.
Okay, sorry. So there are 8 votes to 8 entities here total that can vote, correct?
Yeah, 8.
Oh, with advantage. Hold on. That
Oh,
was not
These
bad.
people literally just debated for like 5 minutes, and one group was like, "Nah, kill him."
Oh, well, I mean, somebody had to nominate the question out there, so. With that Arcana and kind of tying this to that history check you got earlier, you don't know if he's a part of this group. You don't know a lot about them. You got a feeling that he generally liked Lionrith when you were talking with him, so this would be
Right.
off if he was part of this group.
Well, that, and if anything, that would entirely contradict his ethics and just how he operates, because he's very interested in learning all things magic. He wouldn't want one to be killed.
Yeah. Well, the pro Lionrith side has it then. Yes, Gorfrak?
I got it. Well, this is to you.
Mhm.
I got a 24 insight. Can I get a read on how Lionrith is feeling about us, like these groups of power discussing offing him?
Completely unaware of it.
Really?
Or it looks like he is. He's completely distracted about random things in the building.
Is there a reason he's being so not paying attention?
He seems very unconcerned about it.
He's been hanging out with Let way too long.
Have we
Or
created a
he can
monster?
see the future.
Well, right. That's what I was gonna say. It's because of Dunamancy. He clearly can sense danger, so somehow he has to know it's gonna be okay.
Okay. Cool.
Next question.
All right. The Element Counselor goes. All right. The next question would be who should be his current caretakers? As the current ones are the Silver Sentinels, there is a discussion of who should be protecting a divine of this power and level, and if we're very concerned about his well-being now, as we have come to a consensus, we should now probably designate somebody to watch over him up to this point. The Queen will speak up first and say, the Sentinels have assisted us up to this point. They have helped greatly at the celebration and the tournament, which was hosted by us, but led by the church, and they saved many lives that day. And we as the kingdom put our faith in them. And she gives a a very direct and authoritative look at you, Sylvia, when she says that.
Okay. Then I will speak up and say, I understand if some of you have our doubts about us, but we have been trying to learn about Linus as much as we can, and we have tried to assist him and allow him to kind of come into his power, and we have done our best to protect him. But of course, if you think there is somebody who is more suitable, we understand.
The Confederation speaks up. You can go to Lat.
Let's gonna stand up and go. And we've also learned all of his favorite foods and threw him a birthday party last night with a well-balanced meal.
Lat, I want you to
Waitla
roll
doesn't know what a
persuasion
birthday
check for
party
me.
is, and they also didn't throw a birthday party anyways. So scratch that word out of there. What am I rolling?
Persuasion or deception at this point.
I don't
however
have to
you
roll
phrase that.
persuasion though.
Let's see what's higher. I feel like this isn't a lie, and I don't want the risk that comes with deception, so I'm gonna go with persuasion.
Yeah, why would this be a lie?
That wasn't great.
I
say
help
that,
that.
It
I help
doesn't seem
that.
like anybody cares.
I say it was a great party. We got him food.
Like, I think at this like it's already too late for the advantage roll there. Yeah, like you state you threw a party for him. We know what's best, and they're like, okay, cool. We're gonna go back to the adults talking.
I lean over
And
to Sonia and tell them about the blinding cloak.
Oh, his cloak?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Then I'll say, for instance, we know that what is it called? Is it just called like a divine? They're divine objects or relics?
I wouldn't
relics.
I
Like
wouldn't blow that information. I would just say we are actively looking for
Oh, for the cloak to.
yeah,
Okay.
shield him from prying
Weinrich
eyes or whatever you
knows
call it.
that he has a cloak that can disguise him, and we are actively searching for that so that we can also better protect him, so he's not just wandering around for anyone to see.
okay. Why don't you roll a persuasion check? Do this one
Okay.
just normally.
Okay.
There we
You get not too many comments from it, but
Of course.
the Confederation will speak up and say, "Well, sure, but anybody can create something like that if you have enough wealth around, which you clearly don't." Uh, in any case,
Wow, asshole.
we believe that we should, at minimum, be dealing with him due to his draconic form and nature. I don't see why anybody here could even relate to who and what he is. Uh, Clearly, if they threw him a birthday party.
It was not a birthday party. Why did you say that?
I pipe up and I ask, how long has the Confederation been around for?
Uh, Let me check here my own indication here. They respond about, I think, 3,000 years.
How old are Ethios and Veldara?
They are a little bit older, so, or at least from what you understand of the grand timeline of things. It's speculated they're here at the beginning of time, but it's like fable myth stuff, which is so it's hard to pinpoint. But from recorded history, an extra at least 2,000 years.
So 2,000 years past the Confederation?
Yeah, so it was like 2,000 years Confederation was formed, then it's 3,000
Okay.
years to about now.
Okay. I think upon Gorfrak like putting it together that him going with the Confederation means he's gone. But you
I should
can't.
also mention, like, we're getting into specifics here, but they also had like a little bit of like a government reform stuff with their confederation. So it's a lot going on there, but of the course of this one specific entity and all its changes, 3,000 years.
Are the negotiations going well, Nathaniel, with the Federation?
They were on your side in the first part.
Oh. I mentioned to them, I say, that's fair, but we've had line with Assassin. He's not draconic. He's something different. He's a divine, I mean, obviously, but his lineage is not that of the dragons. His lineage is that of the gods. And with all due respect, moving him across the continent, across the world, away from the influence of his father and albeit the volatile influence from his mother, I think would put him on a chaotic path.
As soon as Gorfrak mentions Blindrit's mom, Let picks up the picture and points at it and goes,
The church speaks up and goes, "Well, we agree with that assessment. However, we do not agree that the Sentinels should be involved in that. He should just be returned home to the Celestial Plane, where there he can be certainly protected by any force. As soon as he's there, no one can really bother him."
Doesn't want to go.
The Elven Counselor will make the comment and say, it is certainly at this point not his to make now.
I kind of look at Sylvia like, sorry, I didn't mean to like step on your toes here. But Gorfrak says to the church specifically, I really do think that the Sentinels and the church got off on the wrong foot. And I think that now that we're open, now that we've learned much more about Lionrith, we would be much more open to a partnership and a working relationship. Keeps Lionrith here because he would learn more about the people he oversees here than he would in the bureaucracy.
Roll a persuasion check with just normal.
Ooh. 18.
18. So the church goes, well, while we may have aggrieved at one point, that is in the past right now. That would be something that not even I have authority to dispense out of, but I can tell you for certain that the church will not budge on standing against you in this matter.
I totally respect where you're coming from, but wouldn't it be short-sighted, to say the least, to break Lionrith off from connecting with the very magical essence he controls? I mean, the bureaucracy obviously is not bound by the same time that Lionrith bends here. And so by taking him away, he wouldn't understand his power from just a application level. I mean, Ethios has his saints, his sages, and his speaker to connect with the material plane, but Lionrith doesn't have that. At least not yet.
To that, I would say, I understand your, as well as Ethios's concern in wanting Lionrith to return the material to the celestial plane. Is there any, or has there any thought been dedicated to how could he maintain a connection to the material plane? Because clearly he's a very important deity or divine, and he needs to have some sort of connection to the material plane.
The Elven Council will speak up and say, I think that will be a topic that we discuss after we resolve this one. So why don't we stay on the topic of who his caretakers, who he should currently be with at any given point while he's present here. The druids will speak up and say, well, there is certainly tension among the different groups with the Sentinels. They have certainly dealt with the forces of Eldara recently, and I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do that in the future. Even if it is temporarily until we could find someone to help educate him on this world, as the Sentinels were trying to lean to speaking on. At this point, the dwarves will speak up and go, I mean, we're one of the best mercenary companies out there that money can buy. You pay us, we won't have an issue.
Do they have like magic? I don't know. When I think of dwarves, I think of very stereotypical like fighters, but I'm assuming they have.
You can roll history on the group.
Okay.
A relatively famous mercenary group. That's just their basic tagline right now. So, see what you get. Yeah, so I would say they do have. They're not specialized in magic, but they are extremely well-known mercenary group. It's kind of like if you need like a private army, these are the guys.
But not really, but not magic users.
Not really magic users. I mean, they probably would have been a very good like bodyguard protectors if things like that. Yeah.
With all due respect for you and your group, I think the biggest threat to Lionrith is something more of the arcane nature and arcane users. which your group does not specialize in.
And then the Phoenix Council will speak up and say, this is why we think that we should be keeping an eye on him. We certainly have the connections. And after all, who not better than people who interpret and read magic on a daily basis?
So you were just voting to kill him, but now you want to protect him.
We are, again, we are attending this summit to go with whatever the group ends up deciding. While we stood alone on the assumption, we will not anger the powers of the world for this. I think for maybe assisting you guys, why don't maybe one or two of you roll an insight?
Okay, that's definitely gotta be one of them. My
+9.
insight's
I'm on it.
+6.
Yeah.
Is anybody able to help me?
Oh my gosh.
I
Okay.
got an 18.
Oh, I see. We're all rolling.
Man,
Oof.
that was one, Let.
No, my dice are not hot tonight.
So yeah, the best one would be Gorfrak in this case. I think you can see there's a divide where the people who oppose you think they're better than you. So
Okay.
it's coming to a point to where if one of the groups can convince the others, they'll just get the most votes and then you're done.
Gotcha.
So you'll need either convince one or two of them to be on your side, or something might happen.
And are we? Sorry, keep going.
It's pretty obvious the queen is on your side. The druids seem to be actually kind of neutral in this regard. So, but everyone else seems to be real, and the reclaimers haven't spoken once during this, other than the brief moment they were there to like point at Let's, but you don't really know where they stand. But everyone else is kick you to the curb.
And then I will say that I think then that we may still be the best group to protect Lynmouth, because we have a mix of arcane and druidic influences, as well as two very excellent fighters. So we're not relying on one form more than the other, as well as has been previously said. We have faced the entities of Valdara, or her, what's what I want to say, her servants, and we have come out relatively unscathed. And I'll turn specifically to the Phoenix group and say, how much do you know about Valdara's servants, and how many of them have you fought?
Back during the Creation War, we were definitely involved in the conflict, but we tend to stay out of certain disagreements like that. Unless the world is in clear peril, which at that time that was more regional.
It's also worth mentioning that Lynmouth has a special connection to magic of the druids, Gaia's magic. I'm a full-fledged druid and have a fairly good relationship with the circles of the land. I mean, we would be able to protect him in the glades there, take him around, help him build that further connection to his magic, the magic of this plane.
Okay, so Piper, for your comment earlier, I want you to roll Persuasion, and then Gorfrak, you'll need to roll as well.
Dice.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
And good. Can I have Sylvia help action since we're working off each other pretty well?
Not in this case.
Not in this case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that your 13?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't really gain too much traction with it. From general whispers you hear, it seems that more push people towards thinking the druid should be the better choice than yourselves.
That's fine.
Sylvia, you seem to put in a good point, and that you're a very diverse group. It seems to work out pretty well for you.
Okie dokie.
At this point, the church will point out and say, well, this may be the case, but we do have great saints and deities that can assist him. And with our armies and whatnot, we can, if the kingdom doesn't wish to, then we certainly can rival their strength and be able to protect him in whatever dark forms Valdara will use. Many of you may have heard of the Saint Azaman, but he is the Saint of Wisdom, and I certainly do believe that would be a great asset for him to be able to rely on.
Do I say it? Do I say it? Would the church be willing to help us get our Cleric of Azaman back?
Oh shit.
So Alistair, who's present during this, immediately goes like this. And yeah, and a lot of the church officials kind of like give a little look at you, and then the soul says, "Oh yes, the one that got frozen in time clearly was able to protect and help him."
Yeah.
And
I deserve that. Shut up, Mochi. I don't need your comments.
so at the end of the day, it's clear that if we can have the deity themselves be able to help, then a cleric who's, I believe, under the age of 10.
No, she's a
score.
Verna is 16.
That was the character, not me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm defending Fern in front of these people.
We've fallen so far.
Azaman teaches his followers to be open-minded, and she was being open-minded, just too open-minded in the moment.
Gorfrick, let it go.
No.
So, the Elven Counselor then goes, well, it seems we kind of have come to two specific sides here. The church or the Silver Sentinels at this point.
Me.
Yes. What would you like to say?
Know stuff. I know stuff.
Wonderful.
Who?
Raw magic, planes.
Take it to my mind,
Unique.
and then I can tell them.
My mind to your mind.
My thoughts to your thoughts. Thank you for the Star Trek reference. Then it'll basically just be a very quick message of, I know planar stuff and raw magic in a way that nobody else here does. The Varios are very knowledgeable and could be useful in helping a divine channel raw magic.
Right, then I will just basically repeat that verbatim.
Yeah, so Ku, roll persuasion, but you'll gain advantage.
Woo!
I should have thought this through. Oh, I have a +4 to persuasion.
Oh wow.
I don't know why I haven't been doing this earlier.
Because you don't even speak common very
Seems
well.
to be a relatively persuasive piece.
It's the three fingers.
Then
Sorry.
the Elven Counselor then continues and says, well, thank you for that. I think we should pick between the two groups and we'll vote from there. Any final closing arguments from the Sentinels? If you want to say anything additional here, this is when I'm giving you the opportunity.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should say at any point that hasn't already been made.
Okay.
I'm desperate to know why Alistair facepalmed.
I think I don't think Gorfrak is gonna fully say it, but I think Gorfrak just kind of chokes out like a we love Lionrith like a child, and we would lay ourselves down to see him safe, and we've done that on our way to the forest.
Yeah.
Don't mention that, Fustercluck.
I'm not gonna mention it in detail, but I'm gonna say like we would lay down our lives for Lionrith.
Ku, for the sake of it, I know you're interested in this. Do roll an insight check on Alistair.
Oh,
What was
It's
your
a five.
persuasion roll?
18.
Cool.
Maybe Let, would you like to like roll an insight on a guy who face palmed to help your friend out?
Sure. Yeah, I can.
I'm desperate. Me, the person, not Ku.
That's pretty
I'm
good.
not rolling hot, but that wasn't terrible.
Okay. So Alistair seems to be at least someone who's been in the political ring a lot. Basically, when that was said, he knew that they were baiting out that response.
Oh.
That
they were
was a
going
whole
for
he just
that.
saw you all walk into something that he was hoping that wouldn't happen.
I
Wait, what
completely
did he face palm in response to?
Then bringing
Rich brought up a
Vern.
Zaman, which I thought was weird since, you
Yeah.
know, who brings up a minor saint?
Who said that?
Sage. The church.
They
brought
the
up a
church
minor
brought up the
saint.
Zayman being like, "Oh, we have this guy who can help us. Like he's
Those
cool."
dickbags.
They were trying to bait out the fact that Fern was.
Yeah, and
stupid.
of course, Gorfrak had to say something.
Yeah, I did because I miss her.
Not the right
And
time.
I feel partially bad because I primed her with the onion and then gaslit everybody into thinking that she didn't need it.
So, at this
You
point, I think
did.
your I think your arguments are done here. And at this point, do you want to go to a vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out a thing here to write some stuff down on just in case.
I just hate this because I feel I don't know what is the best situation for Line Rift.
Okay, so
Oh my god.
we go to the Sentinels. Who do you are you pro yourselves?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Okay.
Let is literally going to cast their vote by picking up the picture that they drew again and going,
Who
Okay.
can argue with drawing skills like these?
my Crayola water.
and their vote is to their motion of doing that is to say pro Sentinels, anti-church in this case.
All right. The church will, of course, support themselves.
Shocker.
The Phoenix Council will side with you. The king and thus the queen also side with you. The who's next on the list here? The druids will side with the church. And the Confederation. Oh man, okay. Would side with the church. The Reclaimers would side with you. And then
I'm having the
Mercenaries
same
would side
levels
with
of
the church.
stress.
Fuck.
What?
So it would be tied.
It's tied. I'm having the same levels of stress as watching American Idol in 2009.
Here's the thing. I was basing off my sheet here. I'm like, okay, and then if you notice how I stopped, that was because I realized it was gonna tie.
Druids really not want him to come
No,
with
so
us?
the Elven Council will have to break it, right?
The Elven Council will have to break the tie.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Have we been good to the Elven Council?
Well, they also saw the Fuster click we entered the forest in.
Oh yeah, I dumped water on
So,
them.
for our wonderful second in command here, can we like extend like an extra maybe 5 minutes here and take an additional break so I can get time to think and then respond?
Yeah, that would be fine. We'll go to break and we'll be right back. Please hold and thank you for staying with us while we have such a long episode. I can't find the button. Okay, there. Okay, viewers, we're back. Thanks for letting us deliberate.
Us.
So, basically, there's like when the votes are counted up, the Elven Counselor kind of is kind of surprised in this regard and goes, "Well, then that will leave the decision to myself. We'll have a brief recess, and then we will start back up." There's kind of like a brief 5-minute thing as him and then the other two counselors walk away and talk a bit, and there's kind of like chatting between the two groups. From what it seems like, based on how the voting is, people are talking with you positively or negatively in that regard. And then he comes back and says, after much deliberation and depending on the people we've interacted with and have trusted the most up to this point, we find that the church should be the guardian for them. As we have met and dealt with them and our own close relationship with the Druids. We don't really, I will hate to say this, the kingdom and ourselves don't really agree that much, and the council we've had little interactions with. We apologize, and they say that they turn to you, and then this is when Lionel speaks up and goes, "But I don't want to do that." And he goes, "That's the council has decided that this is as the summit as we've decreed." And he looks a little distressed by this and then says, "Well, I don't think so. And he starts stammering a bit and then says, no, we can't do that." And he looks to the group of you and he says, "Is he okay?
He's only known us. And I mean, you're asking him to leave the group he's felt safe with to go with a group that he frankly is scared of. He's scared
and
of
he
it.
also has a poor relationship with Ethios.
Well, it's how it's decreed, I would say." And then Lyrus then says, "Well, I am not going to let that happen." And then he waves one of his paws, and a sigil of his appears in the center of the room. And it destabilizes a little bit, and in that moment, everything goes dark for almost everybody. Who? You're the only person who remains standing at this point and is able to observe the situation because you're relatively unaffected by it. As a Terran reality is recreated, and you see strands of tethers between it's nodes in nodes of light. It's really odd, but in the end of the day, the area that you are in is relatively gone and like completely fractured within space and time. And no one's in sight, or from everyone else's perspective, aware of what's going on. So next time, we'll see what happens with Ku. So that'll be it for today.
Yo, what the heck
I
is
knew something
happening
like this was
in
gonna
this
happen.
game?
Did Lionrith just celestial bureaucracy the material plane? Oh my
I think
god.
he might have.
Incredible. All right, well, I'm going to take us out here. Thanks for viewing tonight. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch. Leave us a comment on our videos and let us know what you liked, your personal conspiracy theories about the plot, and if you also hate Elabella and what just happened. Our DM is Nathaniel Ingersoll. Our showrunner is me, Rose Mikey. Our artwork is done in-house by Madison Nabriga. Our music is done by Alex Frazier. He's linked in our bio. Go check out his music. Have a great week, viewer, and we'll see you next time we decide to make fools of ourselves publicly.
And don't forget, everybody, we are thinking of moving over to YouTube. So be aware in the future, if you do not see us on the normal times, might just check there, because we might be popping up there soon. So
For sure, for sure.
we'll see you, everybody.
See you guys.